Jose Rizal, in June 19, 1861 to December 30, 1896, the pride of Malay race and national hero. Jose Rizal is distinguished novelist, poet, physician, linguist, statesman, and national hero. Jose Rizal was born in Calamba, Laguna in the Philippines in June of 1861 and was named Jose Potasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Riolanda Jose. Family lived in rented property that was owned by a religious order from Dominica, which made them a family of wealthy farmers. He finished medicine and well-known, distinguished different language, but the most great achievements that Rizal accomplished was the time of propaganda movement. He was an active Filipino who seek from the reform of this country during the Spanish government. Through his novel No Limitang Harry in 1887 and the El Filibusterismo in 1891, these books brought out the cruelty, especially to his countrymen. It spread out to the whole world about the Spanish tyranny. This led from the sudden death of Rizal. He was sentenced to the death of December 31, 1896 at the Bagumbayan, now popular as Luneta Park. A Filipino who loved so much his countrymen and his motherland, fighting for a cause, especially the independence of being a free man on earth. Truly, we can say that Dr. Jose Rizal is the pride of the Malay race. Next is Andres Bonifacio on November 30, 1863 to May 10, 1897, the father of the Revolution and the second famous hero of our race and the founder of the Katipunan. The hero of the uprising Balintawak in 1896, born in Tondo, Manila on November 30, 1863. He had great hopes and beliefs that his countrymen could maintain a free government. Because of his organized the Katipunan in Balintawak, he convinced Emilio Jacinto, the brain of revolution, to help him. When the secret of the Katipunan was exposed, Bonifacio and his men went to Balintawak. In August 26, the Katipunan and their brave leader Bonifacio tore their poll taxes and waved their red flag as a sign of the beginning of the revolt against the Spanish. This was a misunderstanding when meeting was held at Tejeros, Malabon in 1877. Bonifacio was formed a new government. The Spaniards heard about the organization. Later, Bonifacio was arrested and tried by the court of war. He and his brother Prosopio were sentenced to be shot at Buntis Mountain on May 10, 1897. Bonifacio's legacy to his mother country was democracy. He left us the lesson we derive from his dialogue. Believe in one God wholeheartedly. Love your country and your countrymen. This is an honor to die if cause is saving the country from slavery. Once desired is obtained by practicing coldness of heart. Take care of the secret and the Katipunan just as you take care of your own honor. Save one when it is danger. Bonifacio loved his native land and his people. He favored saying liberty of death. The first revolt began in Balintawak on August 26, 1896. The Filipinos were shouting, "Long live the Philippine Republic." Next is Emilio Aguinaldo on March 30, 1869, February 6, 1864, the head of the First Philippine Republic. Born in Kawit, Cavite on March 31, 1869, won distinction for his military exploits and the emerge of the recognized leader of his people who elevated him to the presidency of the first Christian republic in Asia. During the revolution in 1876, he joined the movement as a lieutenant under General Valdemoro Aguinaldo. He rose to the rank of general in few months and then conducted the campaign against the Spaniards until the Pact of Biak-Nabato. He was signed in December 1897. When Manila surrendered to the American on August 13, 1878, Aguinaldo organized his provincial government at Bacoor, Cavite later. He transferred the seat of government to Malolos, Bulacan, where the Philippine Republic was proclaimed with Emilio Aguinaldo as president. The Treaty of Paris was signed on December 1, 1898, ceding the Philippines to the United States in February 18, 1999. Aguinaldo broke relation with America. This war lasted until Aguinaldo surrendered. Then he returned to Kawit Cavite to elevate his time in agriculture. Next is Apolinario Mabini, July 23, 1864 to May 13, 1903. The sublime paralytic advisor of the Philippine Revolution. A man of sublime ideals that was Apolinario Mabini sought the freedom of our country. He was a courageous patriot and a sagacious philosopher and a learned statesman. His paralysis did not hinder him from working hard to against country independence. Apolinario Mabini was born to a poor family on July 23, 1864. His father was Inocencio Mabini, a barangay captain, and his mother was Dionisia Maranan, a daughter of village teacher. During his early age, Mabini loved to study. He preferred reading books than playing. He excelled in their little barrio school. Because of the poverty, Mabini did odd jobs to help his parents send to school. He finished law at University of Santo Tomas. Mabini became paralyzed in 1896 when Emilio Aguinaldo heard of Mabini's brilliant mind. He appointed Mabini as his chief advisor. Since then, the paralyzed Mabini was cared whenever Aguinaldo needed him. Next is Marcelo H. del Pilar in August 30, 1850 to July 4, 1896, the editor of the popular La Solidaridad and the leading propagandist. Marcelo H. del Pilar was the Philippine revolutionary propagandist and satirist tried to marshal the nationalist sentiment and enlightened Filipino ilustrados or bourgeoisie against Spanish imperialism. Pilar was born in Katupang, Bulacan on August 30, 1850. To cultured parents, he studied at the Colegio de San Jose, the later and the University of Santo Tomas, where he finished his law course in 1880. During the Spanish regime, Marcelo went to the town of Upang, Bulacan. He finished law and requested the Spaniard to build school throughout the country of the Filipino. He firmly believed that it would be good for his countrymen. An education for all, the Spaniards get angry that suspected him of being an enemy of the Spain. He was advised by his close relative to leave the Philippines. He went to Spain. There he met Reciana Lopez, Gina, the founder of La Solidaridad. Marcelo became the editor. He wrote about the suffering of his people. He continued his work for reforms. He met many difficulties. He kept on writing, hoping that someday his countrymen will be free for all suffering from the Spaniards. He returned to the Philippines while on his way home. He died of a disease. Another Filipino patriot in the life, Marcelo H. del Pilar, popular known Plaridel at his pin name. Next is Sultan Dipatuan Kudarat, the brave Muslim leader in the Maguindanao. Sultan Dipatuan Kudarat was known for his bravery, the great leader in the part of Mindanao in 1619 and to 1671. The Muslim Filipino in Mindanao were not yet under the Spaniards during 1619 to 1671. It was Sultan Kudarat who kept the unity of the Filipino Muslim in that part of the Philippines. During the 3 decades, the Filipino Muslim fought against the Trinity of the invaders, and a strong leadership of Sultan Kudarat brought his people to fight against the Spaniards. Kudarat did not surrender to the Spanish authorities until his death in 1672. To acknowledge his greater work, the government declared some part of Mindanao to be named after him. Now, there was a place in Mindanao called Sultan Kudarat, a province near in Cotabato, Isulan, and Coronadal, South Cotabato. Next is Juan Luna. in October 23, 1857 to December 7, 1899. The great Filipino painter, the prize winner in Europe for his painting named The Death of Cleopatra, The Blood Compact, and The Spolarium. Juan Luna was born in Badoc, Ilocos Norte on October 23, 1857. During his student's day, he showed a good interest in painting. In 1875, he obtained his certificate as a pilot. At the age of 17, he traveled in Spain in 1877 to become a specialist in the art of designing. He entered Escuela de Bellas Artes in Madrid because of his exceptional ability in painting. He was chosen by the Philippine government to become pensionado in Europe. He was given a pension of 600 pesos a year for about 4 years, but the Philippine government want him to submit at least some painting to be used and to adorn the building of the government. Juan Luna with Alejo Vera, his teacher, traveled in the different countries of the Europe. He reached Rome, Italy, and Paris in 1881. During the celebration in Madrid, he obtained a valuable gold medal prize at the picture he made. The Death of Cleopatra. Afterwards, he was able to sell this picture for 5,000 pesetas. It was the highest price one could get for a picture. There were many paintings created by Juan Luna. Among them were ang Hispana sa Pilipinas, ang Alipag Bulag, ang Labanan sa Lipanto, and Mestiza. And the other which until now many delivered can be surpassed. Melchora Aquino, well known as Tandang Sora, considered the mother of the Philippine Revolution. She was known as Tandang Sora in the Philippine history because when the war broke out, led by Andres Bonifacio in 1896, she was already old at the age of 84. She joined the revolution. Tandang Sora used to keep a little store where she sold various goods in a small foods place in Balintawak, Quezon City. In August 1996, came the cruel Spaniards. They became more strong and radical. For the head of Bonifacio, men were going to revolt. Hundreds of the men of city of Manila were captured by being forced to reveal the secret of the Katipunan. They were severely punished and many of them were hung and still others were hot dead. Some escaped to the forest of Balintawak in the person of Tandang Sora. They met an angel who took care of them. Everyone had managed to escape, became Tandang Sora, and was taken care of by her, offered the service of her litter store. Even woman and child who came to help her, Tandang Sora's place, she offered to be kind service. The Spaniards learned about her generous service. Instantly, the cruel Spaniards arrested and captured her, took Tandang Sora to Manila and later exiled to Marianas Island. The old Tandang Sora came back and the Philippines was already in the hand of the Americans. She was already very old and had no property. She lives poor and died very poor. Filipino long remember the courageous woman in the person of Tandang Sora, who once offered her love for his countrymen and her motherland. She died on March 2, 1919. Gabriela Silang, the revolutionary woman general. Gabriela Silang was then wife of Diego Silang, a revolutionary leader of Ilocos, captured and killed by the Spaniards. After the death of her husband, the Spanish army invaded in the camp and got all firearms, ammunition, important documents that Diego Silang left. In this situation, Gabriela don't lose hope. Instead, she fought against the Spaniards. She continued the fight of her husband and the Ilocanos. She said it was necessary for me to bring back the freedom that Diego Silang started.